Hey guys, Don Stewart, UAG member, Echo Means Business. Here today to talk to you about a Stihl BG handheld blower. Today we're going to talk about how you can replace the carburetor. Super easy and super cheap to get it running well. I've been having issues with this one. Kind of bogs down when I first start it, and a lot of the time won't start running until it's run for a few minutes. So definitely some carburetor issues, so hopefully we'll fix that up today. So this is the handheld blower we're going to be working on. It's a Stihl BG55, as I mentioned. Worked super great for us. I typically only do just residential lawn care, so just blowing grass clippings and everything off. You really don't need to take around a huge backpack blower for day-to-day kind of work. So worked well for us. And here's the kind of the parts that kind of came with the little package I got. You get an air filter, some gaskets, fuel filter, the carburetor, and the spark plug. So let's get going. All right guys, so super easy to do. First off, I guess these 4 Torx screws. Keep in mind this one is a slightly different size, so just make note of that while you're taking it apart so that you know where that goes. We're just taking the cover off here. You could use a drill with a bit on it if you wanted to. Just be careful about stripping any of the screws or the plastic. This cover should pop right off. I should actually note as well, make sure you take the spark plug boot off. And then I know my spark plug is already loose, I'd already loosened it up, but you do need to take that off as well because we need to get to the throttle linkage in order to pull off the carburetor. And you do need to take this cover off as well. Another 3 screws. Pull this cover off. The air filter cover. Air filter, it's looking a little dingy. And there's just 2 nuts here as well. Pull this off, then you have access to the carburetor. You do need to pull the throttle linkage off, as I mentioned. It's pretty easy to do, just kind of hook it. And there you go, with the carburetor off. Gasket, there is a spare one in the kit, but pull that off just to be sure. Just kind of have to work it down and it's off. Pull off the 2 fuel lines and grab the new one and set it up. Just one other tip guys while you're taking this apart. One thing that I always do too is I only take 1 fuel line off at a time and actually take the new carburetor. Make sure that you're setting it up on the right one so that there's no confusion. You don't have to check back on your pictures or anything like that. Also, make sure that you do empty the fuel tank beforehand so you don't have any fuel kind of running all over. So there we go, we kind of have it all back on. Now I'll just speed it up here so that you guys can see it. You've already seen this part as I pulled it apart. So. All right guys, so fully back assembled. Put some gas back in it. Let's see if the prime bulb fills up. is. You can see the fuel. It's looking good. Let's see if we can start it up. All right, so there you go, guys. Pretty much finished up. I do think the carb needs a bit of an adjustment, so I'll work on the idle screws to get that tuned in. But one other thing to note, I did look at getting a diaphragm kit for this, but just figured just for the price and everything like that, it's just as easy to get a new carburetor rather than fiddle around with the diaphragms. One other thing I will just note, always double check your spark arrestor screen. I know I've had some issues with that in the past where out of the exhaust, if it's clogged up, it'll actually kind of have the similar issue where you just can't get enough power. So always check that. I do find if you run really good quality 2-stroke oil that you won't have that issue, but yeah, just a note. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Check out echomeansbusiness.com for tons of other great content from Echo UAG members as well, and hope you guys have a great season.